This is Man Hour, Sport Talk, Man Hour, Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buck got you here with the Man Hour, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. Your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL Talk, and I'm so glad you're with us here today. Before we dive into today's action, guys, let me tell you a little bit about manhourradio.com. That is where you can grab all the exclusive merchandise, check out the latest blogs, and stay up to date everything that we're doing over here at the Man Hour Radio. So if you're repping the Man Hour, guys, that is the place to do it. Do not forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, and of course, subscribe down below. This is the best way to stay connected. This is a live, interactive show. But wait, guys, there is even more. There's more. You can become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community. We get free entry to all of our weekly NFL pick'ems. You get exclusive merchandise, and you get extra access to the live streams as well. Members-only afternoon drives, a.k.a. So if you wanted the full Man Hour experience, guys, sign up to be the squad. Now, remember, this is a live, interactive show, so make sure you comment down below. I want to hear from you, Jim Powell. I want to hear your thoughts, Sadie. And I want to hear your opinions, my man, the myth, the legend, Alpha Rob. Before we get too carried away, we got to welcome Mr. Jim Powell in the chat. He says he got some poop on your wall. Jimmy, that's no poop, man. That is a championship. That's a championship. That's a championship. It's championships, baby. I know as a Raiders fan, Jim. I know as a Raider fan, you don't get to see a lot of championships in your realm. But hey, you know what? I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I'm going to live it up, baby. We also got my man, Alpha Rob, in the chat today. What is up, Alpha Rob? Hope you're having a good old day, brother. Having a good old day. And we got Sadie in the chat today as well. She says, good evening from Foley Beach, South Carolina. Sadie, I am a weather nerd, and I just watched the forecast, and you got some potential hurricanes heading that way in about 10, 15 days. So be safe down there, button down the hatches, and of course, be safe as always. Jim Powell says, my high school coach made us go to the laboratory all the time for camp. The Latrobe, I don't know. I used to ask the O-line how good Howie Long was if they knew who he was, whipping them against them. Howie Long wasn't very good. Howie Long wasn't very good. I'm kidding. Howie Long was definitely a very, very good thing. Good thing.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Speaking of Pigskin Pun, is Old Man Rivers the Pigskin Punny. He is in the chat today as well. What is up, Old Man River? Hope you're having a good day, brother. Hope you are having a good day. But guys, it is time to get into some live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Guys, we have been going around the NFL landscape. We have been doing a little bit of this. We've been doing a little bit of that. Jude, the Patriots are not going to win it all this year. Stop, brother. They're not going to win it all. But guys, we are going to continue our track across the NFL landscape, and we're going to head over to the one and only NFC West. That is the Arizona Cardinals. That is the LA Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, and of course the Seattle Seahawks as well. But guys, with that being said, it is time to jump into it. It is the time to talk about the one and only Arizona Cardinals. Guys, with that being said, guys, I have high expectations for the Arizona Cardinals. Just 3 months ago, guys, I've had them as pegged as a 10-win team. I feel like they nailed the draft. I feel like they nailed this offseason, and I feel like they've been getting better and better and better and better. But here's the thing. I messed up my chat. I messed up my thing here. So give me a moment, guys. This is live, raw, uncut. I copied down the Minnesota Vikings score instead of the Arizona Cardinals. The Minnesota Vikings, guys, were last week. So let me scroll over to this here. See if I can do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. There we go. There that is. Gotta scroll up. Try and jump into my computer at work here. That is later. Bear with me, guys. This is a live, raw, uncut show. It just sometimes mistakes happen. But luckily, I started reading before, is that what we're looking at? All right, guys. So there it is. So let's go ahead and restart this, guys. That is my bad. That's my bad. We finally got the Arizona Cardinals, guys, and let's just jump back into it, right? Guys, earlier 3 months ago, I did have the Arizona Cardinals pegged as a 10-win team. I thought they were going to do some good things. I thought they were going to be the man, the myth, the legend out there. I thought they were going to actually upset a lot of people out there in the NFC West. But training camp has happened, right? Training camp has happened, and things need to slow down a little bit. Now, I do think the Arizona Cardinals are coming off a very solid foundational building season from 2024. But let's just be honest, guys. The 2025 schedule is no joke. But the Cardinals still have a chance to make some noise. Their division is tougher, and their road games stack up quickly. So, guys, let's break it down week by week and giving it a prediction for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. With that being said, guys, weeks 1 through 6, I think they start off hot. I think weeks 1 through 6, I think the Arizona Cardinals are arguably the hottest team in the entire NFL. Because when you break it down, week number 1, they travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. That is a win. Opening on the road in New Orleans is going to be tough, right? But I like the Cardinals coming out coming out sharp and grabbing that W, mainly because of the Saints quarterback situation. We don't know what's going on in New Orleans. Is it going to be Spencer Rattler? Is it going to be Stroke? Is it going to be Hainer, right? We don't know. We don't know, and I don't think the world knows, and I don't think they're going to be ready for week 1. Then week number 2, home opener. At home, take on the Carolina Panthers. This is yet another win, guys. Back at home facing the Panthers. And, guys, the Cardinals show their strength, and they start to roll on. They start to get hot. They are clicking on all cylinders right now. And it carries on to week 3 when they're on the road taking on divisional foe San Francisco 49ers. Guys, this is a huge early test in the division, but I think the Arizona Cardinals pull out a close road win, giving them a 3-0 start. Look out, baby, because they coming, they cooking, and people are starting to chatter about them. And guess what? Week 4, they give them more to chatter about. Thursday Night Football at home, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Primetime showdown at home. Guys, the Cardinals held out the Seahawks in a thriller. Yes, I know it's a real thriller on Thursday Night Football, but I think it's going to be a great game. And guess what? Week 5, the train keeps on going. At home, take on the Tennessee Cardinals, right? The Cardinals dominate a weaker Titans team at home, giving them a 5-0 start. This is tough because week 6, they're back at home yet again. And they keep on rolling. And another solid home win, this time over the Indianapolis Colts. They start the season 6-0. Things are looking great. They are arguably one of the best teams in the NFC. They're like, everybody's talking Super Bowl. Everybody's talking Kyler Murray MVP yet again. They're talking Marvin Harrison Jr., top 5 receiver in the NFL. Everything is clicking. But guess what? Here comes week 7, baby. And this is where the struggles begin. Week 7 through 11, they struggle to find wins. They needed a much-needed bye week coming up, but week number 7, they play the Green Bay Packers. This is a loss. The first loss of the season coming to the Green Bay Packers. Guys, the Packers defense is just way too much for them. And by the way, the Green Bay Packers played great in Phoenix, and that's exactly where they play. Week 8, a bye week. A much-needed bye week, right? They are 6-1. They are talk of the town. They just took it on the chin from the Green Bay Packers, but guess what? Week 9, they come out of the bye on primetime. Monday Night Football taking on the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium. Guys, primetime game in Dallas, and the Cowboys hold serve, giving them the second loss of the season, second loss in a row. But guess what? The struggles continue because week 10, they're at Seattle taking on the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense shuts down the Cardinals on the road, revenging that earlier loss in the season. 3 losses now in the row. And guess what? Week 11, it does not get any easier. Tough divisional games versus the San Francisco 49ers. Yet another loss, giving them 4 losses in a row, mixed in with the bye week, guys. People have quickly forgetting about the Arizona Cardinals, about how great they were. They were 6-0. All of a sudden, they're 6-4 now going into week 12. Now, I think weeks 12 through 15, they bounce back a little bit, right? They are not going to lose 4, 5, 6 games in a row. They do bounce back versus the Jacksonville Jaguars team that gives the Arizona Cardinals a big boost going into the momentum because their games start getting fast and furious here because week 13, they travel across the continental United States to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Guys, the Buccaneers are a really, really good team. We are breaking down the NFC South tomorrow. They are a good team. They lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, giving them yet another loss. But then week 14, they're back at home playing the LA Rams. Guys, this game is going to shock everybody. The Rams are flying high. The Cardinals are skipping by the bottom of the barrel at this point, but I think they win against the LA Rams at home, keeping their playoff hopes alive. But then week 15, they travel back to the state of Texas to play the Houston Texans, and the road struggles continue with the loss in Houston. That is tough. That is tough because right now they are battling for the playoffs lives. For right now, they started off 6-0. Now they're only sitting at 7-8 wins. Right now, they're not a very, very good football team. But week 18 through 16 through 18, it's a tough finish. The last month of the season is tough for the Arizona Cardinals because they're at home taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, the Falcons hand the Cardinals a tough home loss to give them yet their 9th loss of the season. Sorry, 8th loss of the season. Week 17 does not get any easier because they play the Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati. Guys, the Cincinnati Bengals are always a tough team toward the end of the season. They suck at the first part of the season, but the last part, look out. They go into Cincinnati, and it's a brutal matchup, and they get beat down early. Week 18, they finish the season on the road, taking on the LA Rams. The season closes with a loss on the road to the LA Rams, giving them an 8-9 record. Guys, I just had the Cardinals pegged as a 10-win team just a few months ago, right? Just a few months ago, guys, they were a 10-win team in my eyes. They were going to upset some people. But now, I have them as an 8-win team. What has changed? What has changed? What has changed is I have faith that the San Francisco 49ers will be a little bit better. The Rams got a lot better by adding Devontae Adams. That changes a lot, right? The Seahawks got a little bit better as well. But I don't think they're going to go on the road and perform on the road as well as I thought they were earlier in the preseason, right? Back in May and June. Back in May and June, I had them going on the road and beating the Buccaneers. I had them going on the road, beating the Seahawks and the Rams. Right now, I'm like, hey, let's slow it down, baby. Let's slow it down. But guys, I have them as an 8-9 record going into 2025. What are your guys' thoughts? Sadie says the Cardinals will finish 8-9 as well. And just to solidify Jude, she says, hey, the Patriots are going to finish 5-12. That's tough, baby. That is tough. Alpha Rob says 8-9. They're getting better, but not there. I don't like their defense. And Alpha Rob, everybody's talking about how great their defense is. Everybody's been talking about, oh, this defense is amazing. This defense is top notch, yada, yada, yada. Everybody's been loving their defense. However, I'm kind of with you. I'm not 100% sold on the defense. I would concur with that. Old Man Rivers pigskin punted.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
So the Cards would go 7-10. 7-10. He says 1 game improvement from last season. Old Man River, I think you're being a little tough on them. I think you're being a little tough. Because me personally, I have their floor as 6 wins, right? Everything falls apart. Kyler Murray goes down. James Conner goes down. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes down. Whatever. Six wins. But on the flip side, I see the ceiling as like a 12-win team. They have a very low floor, a very low floor, meaning they could be really, really bad or be pretty good. 6-12. So 7 is tough, baby. That is tough. But guys, what do you think? Is 8-9 too low, too high, or just right? Let me know down in the comments down below. Let's move on to the one and only San Francisco 49ers. Guys, the San Francisco 49ers entered the 2025 season with a lot of buzz. But after some offseason shakeups, some injuries, my outlooks have shifted quite a bit on the San Francisco 49ers. Guys, just 3 months ago, I had the Niners as a 14-win powerhouse team. I had them running the NFC West. I had them going potentially to the Super Bowl. I had them dominating a lot of these games, arguably one of the best teams in the NFL. But since then, a lot of things have changed. Deebo Samuel, no longer a San Francisco 49ers. He is out, traded to the Commanders. Christian McCaffrey, injuries are starting to pack up yet again. Brandon Ayuk probably won't even be back till October or November at this particular time, right? The wide receiver room feels like a game of musical chairs. Every time you turn, it is the signing of a wide receiver here, firing this guy, releasing this guy. Like, it is just a circle of, we don't know what to do with our hands in San Francisco as of right now. It is tough, right? It is very, very tough. But with all these factors, guys, temper the optimism. Temper the optimism, guys, but let's break down the San Francisco 49ers 2025 schedule game by game with the win-loss prediction. And I think weeks 1 through 5, guys, they start out rocky. I think it is a rocky if you are a San Francisco 49ers fan, because week 1, they travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, and they start the season off with a loss. On the road, a loud environment, a hostile Seattle crowd, new quarterback, nice rookie receiver, defense is coming back, Legion of Doom 2.0. The Eagles struggle to find rhythm, and they drop the home opener. That is tough. Sorry, the road opener. Week number 2, they're back on the road yet again, taking on the New Orleans Saints. This time the team bounces back with a solid road win over the Saints, guys, showing flashes of their old dominance. Now, let's not get crazy, because in the end, it is the New Orleans Saints. In the end, the New Orleans Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. In the end, the New Orleans Saints are going to have the number 1 overall pick drafting Arch Manning. Let's just call a spade at the end of the day. But week 3, finally, the home opener. The Arizona Cardinals coming to San Francisco, Candlelight Levi Stadium, whatever you want to call it. A tough divisional battle ends in heartbreak at home. The Cardinals are just a sneaky good team this season, guys. Do not sleep on the Cardinals, but give them yet another loss. But then finally, back at home, yet again, take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. This time, the San Francisco 49ers defense clamps down. The offense finds some consistency, and the 49ers pick up an important win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why? Because they got some tough games coming up, such as week 5 at LA, take on the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Crosstown rivalry heats up, and the Rams win out the edge in a physical bruising contest, giving the 49ers yet another loss on the season. Guys, right now, the 49ers are sitting at 2-3 on the year with wins over the Saints and the Jaguars. Nothing to write home about. They have a huge mountain to start climbing to potentially get back into this NFC West race, to potentially get to this playoffs. Matter of fact, just to potentially have a winning season. In week number 6, they're on the road, take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is not good. In Tampa, the San Francisco 49ers struggle. Without Christian McCaffrey probably at full strength, a 1 o'clock game across the continental United States, guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take advantage. Week of 7, they're back at home, take on the Atlanta Falcons. This is a rare misstep at home against an aggressive Atlanta Falcons team, guys. Questions start mounting. They lost yet another game at home, giving them 3 losses in a row, 2 of them which at home. But then week number 8, everything starts to turn around just a little bit. They travel to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. Guys, the San Francisco 49ers get back on track with a solid road win against a rebuilding Texans squad. They actually look dominant, potentially great in this game, but it does not carry over to week 9 because they travel to New York to take on the New York Football Giants. The travel and inconsistent offense cost the 49ers in New York yet again. Tough loss on the road. Another loss. They're starting to mount up. In week number 10, they are back at home. The Niners reclaim bragging rights in the rivalry versus the LA Rams, delivering a statement win in front of a home crowd, defeating the LA Rams in week 10. Guys, it does not look good for the San Francisco 49ers. They are so inconsistent. They're so up and down, we don't know what to do. Their defense has flashes, their offense has flashes, but they very rarely put the 2 flashes together at the same time. But then, mid-season, week 11 through 14, they have a little bit of a mid-season surge. They finally get on the right track. Everything starts to click, and it starts to click in week 11 when they travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. A big divisional win on the road as the Niners hold serve, and they start to get the big momentum. Midseason surge, week 12, at home, take on the Carolina Panthers on Monday Night Football. Pause. Who scheduled the Carolina Panthers and San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football? That is stupid. I understand CMC playing his old team, whatever. It's going to be a blowout. Guys, primetime shines bright on San Francisco in a very convincing victory. This game might be over at halftime. This is the one game that I'm going to be happy going to bed at 10:30 at night and not have to watch the whole second half. And then week 13, it continues when they travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Travel doesn't slow them down this time. Oh, no. The Niners put a solid team effort together on the road, beating the Cleveland Browns. Now, week 14 is the bye week, a well-deserved bye week. It is time to get rested and regrouped because they have just 4 games left of the season. Right now, they're fighting for everything. They're fighting for the finish. They need to win their 4 games out to potentially have a shot at the playoffs. In Week 15, they do that. Week 15, they're back at home, take on the Tennessee Titans. And San Francisco pounds out a physical win at home. Cam Ward and the Titans do not know what hit them. But then Week 16, they travel to Indianapolis, Indiana to take on the Colts on Monday Night Football. Another head-scratching Monday Night Football game. Why? But whatever, right? But this is another tough road game on Monday that ends in disappointment. Yes, the Colts do beat the San Francisco 49ers come Week 6, pretty much eliminating their playoff hopes. Week 17, they are back at home, take on the Chicago Bears. The Niners close out on a double-widget win with a strong home showing, and then Week 18, playing the Seahawks, and then winning that one as well. The season finale against the Seahawks, the Niners take control and end on a high note. So, guys, right now, I have the San Francisco 49ers not as a very good team. I have them as about a 10-win team. That's about it. Yes, I was high on them. I still think the ceiling still remains at 14 wins. And it is, matter of fact, it is absolutely possible if everything clicks and the team stays healthy. However, their floor is 8 wins. If Brandon Ayuk does not come back 100%, if Christian McCaffrey does not last the whole season, if George Kittle is banged up just a little bit, 7-8 wins, guys, is very, very realistic. Guys, this season for the San Francisco 49ers is all about finding consistency amidst the chaos, right? If the 49ers get hot, the sky's the limit. If not, they'll face a rebuilding test. But what do you guys think? 14 wins, is it still realistic if you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, or is it more likely going to be 8 wins? Guys, comment down below. This is a live interactive show. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here on Man Hour. So let's get into the comments, guys, and discuss your thoughts. Old Man River
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
says that the San Francisco 49ers will be 9-8. That is tough. That is tough, baby. But I'm pretty close right there with you. I'm pretty close right there. I have them right at 10 wins. Potentially 9, right? 9, 10 wins. Sadie says the Niners will be 9-8 as well. I think a lot of us are going on the same page. We are kind of down on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, let me ask you guys this. Old Man River, Alpha Rob, Jim, Sadie, the people that are in the chat right now. Are we down on the Niners because of the trade of Debo, the injury of Brandon Ayuk, or do we not trust Brock Purdy? Those are all the questions that I have for the San Francisco 49ers. Alpha Rob says they'll finish 10-7. They had their chance for the last couple seasons, and now it's time to rebuild. You are correct. The 49ers Super Bowl window was wide open. Brock Purdy under the rookie contract. They had Debo. They had Brandon Ayuk. They had George Kittle, a fresh CMC. Everything was clicking. That defense was top-notch. Now they don't have Dre Greenlaw. Now they don't have Fred Warner. Nick Bosa is another year older. Eric Armstead's gone. You know, honestly, the 49ers are rebuilding without rebuilding. Let's just be flat out honest. They are rebuilding without rebuilding. Huh, baby girl? Birdie says, hey. Birdie's my puppy. Jim Powell says the 49ers have to play out of the quick stand. Just not enough horsepower. And you know what, Jim? This is the first thing that I think we've agreed on something in a long time. CMC has every potential to be great, but he's never played a full 17-game season. CMC could arguably be one of the best what-if running backs ever in the entire NFL history. Over Barry Sanders, over Bo Jackson, over Marcus Allen, right? All those what-if running backs. AP, right? CMC could be the biggest what-if ever. Now, they have the potential to have a lot of horsepower. They have a V8 engine that just need a little bit of fine-tuning. They fine-tune that just a little bit. Boom, to the moon, baby. But right now, they got a misfire on cylinders 4, 5, and 6. What is going on? But guys, what do you think? What will the San Francisco 49ers finish? 8 wins, 9 wins, 14 wins, NFC West championship, last place? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Now, let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, the Seahawks are gearing up for a challenge in 2025. And after watching their rookie class progress so far this training camp, guys, I have adjusted my expectations. 3 months ago, guys, I had pegged the Seahawks as a 6-win team. Did not like Sam Darnold. Wasn't huge on their draft class. It's just like, they're just blah to me, right? But now with the growth I'm seeing in the young talent, I'm adding a couple more wins to that total. Potentially doubling that total. Slow it down, Buck. The ceiling is still about 8 wins for the Seattle Seahawks, and the floor is around 5, right? They are still very, very much a team on the upside looking when it comes to the playoff picture. But guys, let's break it down week by week and win-loss prediction for the Seattle Seahawks in 2025. In week number 1, guys, we are going to get a mixed start. We are going to get a mixed bag. We are going to get a lot of greats and a lot of freaking bads. Let's just be honest. Because week number 1, when they open that home versus the San Francisco 49ers, Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and the rest of the boys, guys, the Seattle Seahawks open strong. They take down their fierce Bay Area rivals at home. It's a big morale boost. Everybody's pounding their chest in Seattle. Look at us, look at us, look at us. But guess what? Week 2, they travel to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They travel on some of the worst roads in America in the state of Pennsylvania. They travel, and a tough Steelers defense proves way too much, even with or without Cam Hayward. Guys, the Seahawks dropped this one on the road, losing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matter of fact, they get dominated on the road to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We just see them extreme high, take on the old mighty San Francisco 49ers, and then get beat down by an average Pittsburgh Steelers team. But then week 3, they're back at home, taking on the New Orleans Saints. Guys, the Seahawks rally and get a crucial victory, pull out late one against the New Orleans Saints. I think it's going to be about 12-9 score. We're not going to probably see a touchdown in this game. It's going to be ugly, ugly, ugly. But week 4, they're back on the road, take on the Arizona Cardinals. Thursday night football. Primetime in Arizona brings a hard-fought battle, but the Seattle Seahawks come up a little bit short. A little bit short in this one. But hey, they're back at home come week 5. Hey, that's all right. We've lost on the road. We won at home. This time we're at home. And guess what? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town. Guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a good team going into Seattle, but the Seahawks bounce back with a solid home win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, giving them a win-loss, 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 a mixed bag, winning at home, losing on the road. But guess what? Everything starts to click come week 6 through 10. They start to click and they start to look like a playoff-bound team. The big momentum is on their side. Because week 6, they travel to Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks ride the wave with a gritty road win after just beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they get a nice little 14-7 win. At 1 p.m. in Florida, that is huge. That is huge. That is huge. That is huge. Then week 7, they have a little extra day off because they play primetime at home Monday Night Football when they take on the Houston Texans. Prime time again, guys, and the Seahawks sign in a solid Monday night performance, beating the Houston Texans. Week number 8, a much-needed week off. Bye week, time to regroup, time to figure out what they're doing. But guess what? Week number 9, they travel to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to take on the Washington Commanders. Guys, the road trip to Washington doesn't go Seattle's way. Another early game on the West Coast. That is tough, baby. That is tough. But then week 10, they're back at home, take on the Arizona Cardinals. Another divisional win at home helps the Seattle Seahawks competitive and their playoffs hopes alive. But then weeks 11 through 14, guys, the inconsistency of the Seattle Seahawks season kicks in. Extreme highs and extreme lows. They beat teams they shouldn't. They lose to and then they lose the teams that they shouldn't. This is the Seattle Seahawks seasons in a nutshell. In week 11, they go to L.A. The Seahawks fall to a tough Rams squad. There's no way around it. The Rams are a very, very good football team, and the Seahawks are rebuilding. Let's just call a spade a spade. Then week 12, they travel to Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Titans. A game they should win. A game that they should probably go in there and dominate. A game that they should go in there and walk out looking like gold. Well, guess what? A second straight road loss at Tennessee's physical defense wears Seattle down. They're not looking good. Week 13, though, they're back at home, playing a very much improved Minnesota Vikings team. A Vikings team that people sleep on, they're going to come up and bite them. Well, guess what? Sam Darnold playing his old team. The Vikings want to give it to Sam Darnold's new team. Seattle grabs a very important divisional win, a conference win, I should say, showing signs of growth. However, week 14, they're back on the road, traveling to the East Coast. 1 o'clock game, yet again, playing the Atlanta Falcons. Traveling inconsistency lead to a tough loss in Atlanta. It's losing 3 of their last 4. That is tough. That is tough. But then weeks 15 through 18, They're fighting for the finish. They're fighting to the finish. They want to be spoilers for somebody, right? They want to be on the plus side of a lot of things. Week 15, they're at home taking on the Indianapolis Colts, and the Seattle deliver a much-needed win at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Give me that dub. But then guess what? Week 16, Thursday Night Football yet again, take on the LA Rams, this time at home. Late season primetime game doesn't go their way, and the Rams get the season series. Week 17, they travel back to the East Coast to take on the Carolina Panthers yet again. Another 1 o'clock primetime, or another 1 o'clock game. The Seahawks struggle on the road in Carolina. They have a lot of East Coast 1 o'clock road trips. That is tough. Week 18, they're back on the road, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. A tough season finale loss in San Francisco ends in defeat. So, guys, the season recap for them. Guys, the rookie class is showing good promise and being basically going to be the energy for the Seahawks game plan in 2025. Still, the Seahawks remain a team on the fringe, battling inconsistency and a tough schedule. If their young players can continue to develop and veterans can stay healthy, hitting 8 wins and pushing for a playoff spot isn't out of the question. However, this is the reality. The reality is, guys, it could be a 5-win season. The reality is that they could be a losing team. The reality is they might get blown out a lot of games. But what do you guys think? Is 8 wins for the Seattle Seahawks too optimistic or about just right? Can the rookies push Seattle into playoff competition? Drop your thoughts down below. It's a live interactive show. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Let's get into your comments. Sadie says the Seahawks will finish 8-9. Right there with you, girl. Right there with you. Alpha Rob says 7-10. Darnold will be Darnold. We know trash. So let me ask you this there, Alpha Rob. You obviously do not like Sam Darnold. You got to see Sam Darnold very much so in the AFC East when he was there many years, right? What, 3 years? I think he was there. Bounced to the Carolina Panthers, went to San Francisco 49ers, obviously had success in Minnesota. Now he is in with the Minnesota Vikings. Let's say Sam Darnold is trash. Let's say Sam Darnold does get 3 wins. 3 of the first 7, right? They're just a very, very bad team. They drafted Jalen Milroe this season. Jalen Milroe, to me, looks like a potential push for Sam Darnold's job. Drew Lock is just going to be Drew Lock. He's a backup. He's never going to be a starter ever again in the NFL. If they make a change from Sam Darnold, it will go to Jalen Milroe. That's just what it is. That is what I think. So at what point of the season do you bring in Jalen Milroe? During the bye week? Early in the season? Start week 1? Because the bye week is week 8. They play the 49ers, Steelers, Saints, Cardinals, Bucks, Jaguars, Texans the first 7 weeks. Very easily, they could go 2-5. 1-6. That is tough. That is tough. I say if they are a losing team, 2 wins, let's put a caveat on it. 3 wins or less going into the bye week, we will see Jalen Milroe, yes, Old Man River, from the Alabama. Roll Tide. Right? Roll Tide. Weapon X78 says Kenneth Walker III needs to stay healthy. Not wrong, Jeter. Not wrong, my man. You know what? Everybody on the Seahawks has to stay healthy. Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp, he needs to stay healthy. They need to find a tight end, right? They just released Noah Fant, which he's with the Bengals now, right? Defense needs to stay healthy. Obviously injury is big for everybody, but for the Seahawks alone, depth and injuries are going to kill them this season. Kill them. Weapons X78 says week 5 is when we'll see Jalen Milroe. Week 5. That is a little too early. I think that's a little too early to pull the rug out from Sam Darnold because you gave him a 2-year, $70-some-odd million deal, right? He is your guy. That's the guy you wanted. That's the guy you brought in to mentor Milroe. I say you got to wait till at least after the bye week. Give him 8 weeks. Give him 7 games. Give Milroe that extra week to prepare because when coming off of the bye week, right, they do play the Washington Commanders, a tough Washington Commanders at Washington. That's a Sunday night football game. Week 3, says Old Man River. Listen, if you're going to start, first of all,
pigskin pun. Get you some.
if you're going to give Sam Darnold 2 weeks to be 2-0 or 0-2, you might as well just start Milroe from week 1 from the Alabama. Just start on week 1. Start on week 1. Call it a day. Cut your losses. Right? Sam Darnold, he could go to Cleveland. They need a 7th quarterback. Why not? Sadie says, I think Sam Darnold will play the entire season. Now we got some logical speaking here. Sadie right now is the woman on the show. She is the most logical thinking here. Men don't think logically. We think with our not our heart. Like we think with our hearts, not our brain, right? Sadie's like, hey, Seahawks paid Sam Darnold $78 million for 2 years. Yes, they did draft Jalen Milroe. But right now, he's 3rd string. Right now, the man's 3rd string. We haven't seen nothing. He's a 3rd round pick. Let him sit on the bench. Let him learn. And then maybe, just maybe, next year we'll see Jalen Milroe. Sadie says, slow it down, baby. And I have to admit with Sadie, we need to slow it down, baby. I think we'll see Sam Darnold all season long. Unless the season obviously gets way out of hand. We're 2-13, 2-11, right? It is what it is. And the Old Man River says Sam Darnold goes down week 2 out for the season. Do not wish injury, my man. Somebody put Old Man River in timeout. You know better than that. We don't ever wish injury here on the Man Hour, brother. This man, somebody come get your boy. He goes down with the injury. Come on, man. Come on. You are just mad because the Raiders didn't get Sam Darnold. You were stuck with Geno Smith. Geno Smith's little whack ass. Nobody likes the Geno Smith. Nobody likes him. That's why the Seahawks said get out of town. That's why the Seahawks are paying the same amount of money they're paying Sam Darnold that they want to pay Geno Smith. Nobody wants Geno Smith. Old Man River. Get him out of here. Nobody wants to be a Raiders fan. Nobody likes Genty, Mr. Negative 1 yards himself. Nobody wants old Max Crosby. Sheesh. Raiders won the West. The Raiders didn't win the West. Okay, yes, the Raiders did win the West 25 years ago. Congratulations. What have the Raiders done since Tom Brady whooped their ass in the snow and the playoffs, Old Man River? What have they done? Oh, they beat the Chiefs Christmas Day 15 years ago. Yeah. Shut your mouth, boy. Go to your room and sit down and know your role, jabroni. All right, guys, it is time to move on to the LA Rams. Guys, the Rams are locked and loaded for 2025. And a while back, guys, I had the Rams as a 13-win team. 3 months ago, guys, I had them as arguably the best team in the NFC. 3 months ago, I had them as a Super Bowl-bound LA Rams. 3 months ago, I said, hey, look out for this team. But now, they can slow it down, Buck. Slow it down a little bit, and I'm going to drop them down to 12 wins. Not because they've gotten any worse. Not because they've hit in a few roadblocks. Not because of this. It's just 12 wins seems a little bit more realistic, right? But this does still not think I don't think this is a dangerous team. That this still doesn't mean that I don't think the LA Rams are a Super Bowl team. Guys, the Rams are a very, very good team. They could win 13, 14, if not 15 wins this season. And even their floor is still 9 wins. They're going to be a winning team in 2024. Guys, well, let's break it down week by week. My prediction for the 2025 LA Rams. And week 1 through 5, guys, they start off with a statement. They start off with a statement and they come back and say, come here, little boy, let me wax that ass. And that's exactly what they do week 1 versus the Houston Texans. The Rams start hot, take care of business at home against the Houston team still trying to find his rhythm, a.k.a. Tank Dell's hurt, I'm going to cry a little bit more, right? Mr. CJ Stroud, come here, let me wax that ass. Week number 2, they travel to Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Titans, right? Tennessee can be a tough place to play. Sure, potentially, if the Titans were good, but the Titans are dog shit bad. But the Stafford and Adams connection is already cooking. And guess what? 2-0, baby. But then week 3, this is the game that I've been going back on forth off. They travel across the continental United States of America to Philadelphia, take on the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 months ago, I had them going into Philly and beating them. Now, guys, I'm backing off a little bit. I think the Eagles are going to stop this 2-0 start, given their first loss of the season. Philly's defense, guys, is too much in this one, and the Rams take the first loss. But then week number 4, Rams are back at home, take on the Indianapolis Colts. Back in LA, the offense gets rolling again. The Rams rebuild in a big way, beating down the Colts by at least 25 points. It is ugly. And then week 5, they're at home yet again on Thursday Night Football, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. A huge divisional statement win. On a short week, guys, the Rams take down the 49ers under the lights. So they start 4-1. And the Rams are looking every bit like NFC contenders, guys. They are on cloud 9. We are talking about them. And we are talking about them some more. But week 6 through 10, guys, they're on a tough road stretch. Week 6 through 10 shows who they are or who they are not. And week 6, when they travel to Baltimore to take on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, guys, the Baltimore's physical style takes a toll. And also, by the way, Lamar Jackson does not lose to NFC teams. That's just what it is. He's 35-1 against NFC teams. Something crazy, right? And then week number 7, put on that jet lag, traveling across the pond, traveling to the United Kingdom to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're home away from home. Travel plus the feisty Jaguars team leads the back-to-back losses heading into the bye week. Week 8, guys, perfect time for a bye week. Perfect time for rest, right? We are struggling right now. We have lost 2 in a row, traveled across the pond, played a physical Ravens team. Week number 9, we're back at home, take on the New Orleans Saints. A Saints team that's not very good. A rested Rams team gets the job done, gets the New Orleans Saints, a bad New Orleans Saints team. Sorry, Wes. It is what it is. But then week 10, they're back on the road yet again, take on the San Francisco 49ers. The rivalry splits and the 49ers defend the home turf, defeating the Rams. So at this point, guys, in week 10, the Rams are 6-3. The Rams have weathered a challenging travel-heavy stretch and they remain firmly in the playoff picture. And then weeks 11 through 15, guys, they start stacking up those wins. Wins start coming at a premium because week 11, they're at home, take on the Seattle Seahawks. Divisional dominance continues in LA, and the Seahawks do not know what hit them. Give me another win. Week 12, at home yet again, take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Stafford spreads the ball around, and the Rams defense locks in. Jared Verse might have 3 or 4 sacks against Baker Mayfield in this game. Give me yet another win. Week 13, finally on the road. Finally traveling across the continental United States again to take on the Carolina Panthers. As the Panthers can't match the LA's firepower. Even if the LA Rams come in there and play C-plus football, the Panthers just can't hang. Yet another win. However, week 14, on the road, take on the Arizona Cardinals. This has trap game vibes written all over it. Nice little winning streak. Nice going across the United States, playing bad football, beating the Panthers. Maybe a little tired. The Arizona Cardinals catch the Rams slipping, and they give them a loss, breaking that 5-6 game winning streak. But then week 15, at home, taking on the Detroit Lions. Guys, this is a big-time NFC matchup. This could potentially be the NFC Championship game. This could potentially be the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. And I think the Rams deliver in front of an overhyped crowd. Matthew Stafford gives it to his old team, and the Detroit Lions don't know what to do with their hands. Guys, the Rams are 10-4 at this point, and they're hitting their stride late in the season. They are 10-4, hitting their stride exactly when you want to peak. And then week 16 through 18, guys, they close out strong. They close out strong on the road, week 16 versus Seattle Seahawks, Thursday Night Football. primetime divisional road win. Stafford, Adams, Puka, the rest of the boys, Kyron Williams, get it done. Put on a show. Week 17 at Atlanta. The Rams stay sharp against a rebuilding Atlanta Falcons team. The Falcons could be potentially battling for a playoff spot at the particular time. Guess what? No match for the Rams. And then week 18, they win yet another game in a row, giving them 4 wins in the row to finish the season out strong with the win over the Arizona Cardinals. Guys, I have the Rams being at 12-5. The Rams have one of the highest ceilings in the NFC. Adding Devontae Adams, guys, makes this passing game lethal. And if Stafford stays healthy, key point there, if Matthew Stafford stays healthy, this team can compete for a Super Bowl. Yes, there are a couple tricky stretches there, right? The schedule does them no favors with travel, but they have the roster to handle. They have the veteran leadership to handle. They've been there. They've done that. But what do you guys think? Is 12 wins too high, or do you see the Rams hitting that 13-win ceiling still, right? Guys, drop your thoughts in the chat. Live interactive show. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Remember, we are live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. So let's get into those comments. Let's get into those comments. Old Man River says 11-6 for the LA Rams. Where do we differ, Old Man River? Because honestly, 11 wins sounds like an average season, right? If you have 11 wins, that kind of sounds like an average season. 12 sounds like an elite season. Now, I know it's just one win, but let's just be honest. 11 sounds average. 12 sounds superior. So where do we differ? Jeter says, what's the deal with Matthew Stafford? The deal with Matthew Stafford is he's 38, 39 years old. The deal with Matthew Stafford is he's got his ass whooped in Detroit for a very, very long time. The deal with Matthew Stafford is he has a sore back. He was at practice today. He did not practice, but he was at practice on the sidelines, throwing the ball around a little bit. Rumor is that he will be ready by week 1. Probably won't play any of the preseason to protect that back. Now, we know last year he had shoulder issues. The year before that, he had finger issues, right? Matthew Stafford is a walking IR. However, he is very, very durable, and you always see him week in and week out. When the game is on the line, Matthew Stafford will be in there. When it is time to play real football games, Matthew Stafford will be in there. When it is time to shine underneath the brightest lights, Matthew Stafford will be there. That's just who he is. I think Jeter said something about the Rams getting payback on the Eagles. That would be tough. That would be tough because I have, depending on which version you want to listen to, 3 months ago, I had the Eagles starting off 0-3 with the Rams beating them as their third game because the Eagles were losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, and then losing to the Rams. But on the flip side of that, I still have the Eagles losing to the Cowboys, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. So if they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it could be very, very, very much be a hangover game, and you could be right. You 100% could be right on that. But we will see. Alpha Rob says 12-5. Their defense would be better, especially with Jared Verse. Exactly. Last year, we all kind of anticipated their defense taking back with old Aaron Donald retiring, potentially at his prime, right? They actually took a step forward, I think. I think the Rams defense got better, and they're going to get better. And that's why I initially had them as a 13-14 win team. I thought their defense was going to carry them. But with the Matthew Stafford issues, it is what it is. End of the day, it is what it is. All right, guys, so it is time for buy or sell. Guys, buy or sell, we are going to talk about the Tennessee Titans. We are going to talk about the Tennessee Titans and most importantly, Tajay Spears. Guys, the Tennessee Titans will be a 2-win team if Tajay Spears is out in 2025. Guys, the Titans have many, many holes. From receiver to defense to offensive line to potentially quarterback, they have a lot of holes. But it seemed like ever since Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears were on the Titans, since King Henry departed, we thought this was a staple in their stable. Right? We thought Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard were going to be the man, the myth, the legends. But truth be told, guys, they still are. And that is why I'm selling this. I'm just not selling it, guys. I am sending it straight to the clearance rack. Guys, here's the deal. Yes, Spears is hurt. High ankle sprain in the preseason opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He left on crutches with the boot, and Brian Callahan says he's going to miss the rest of the preseason. That's not nothing. Guys, Tajay Spears is explosive, and he's supposed to be the big part of the bounce rushing attack this year with Tony Pollard. But here's where I think people are starting to overreact just a little bit. Now, let's just be honest. The Titans are going to be a 3-4 win team anyways. But I do not think the 2025 Titans are going to be a very run-heavy offense. I think this offense is going to lean on the passing game, period. They brought in weapons. They got a quarterback that they believe in. And even with Tajay Spears healthy, Tony Pollard is still the RB1. Guys, last year, Tony Pollard had 260 carries. Spears, guess what? 84. Not even a quarter of the carries. Spears adds more of a pass catcher mentality with 52 catches in the last season. But losing him for a few weeks doesn't suddenly turn the roster into a 2-win disaster. We also have to remember, guys, Spears has missed time before. Concussions, ankle, hamstring. He is a walking IR as well. The Titans have played games without him, and they have survived. Callahan's plan is still intact. Pollard will carry the early workload. And, of course, the offense will run through the air, not on the ground. Plus, they're going to get some other pieces back. Lloyd, Crushenberry, they could return very, very soon. L'Jarius Sneed should be back as well. And rookie Cam Ward is showing very, very promise in camp. So, yeah, obviously losing Tajay Spears does hurt. It takes away a weapon on both faces of the offense. But 2 wins, that's a little bit of overkill. This is still a team with enough passing game, with enough passing firepower, and be capable to lead Tony Pollard back to win more than that. So I'm selling this one hard. My prediction without Spears, there's not bottoming out. They're still a 4 to 5 win team. They're not very good. But what do you guys think? Does Spears' injury drop the Titans down to 2 wins territory, or is that just a hot take nonsense? Let me know what you guys think down below. Alpha Rob says they're a 3-win team no matter what. No matter how you cut the fabric, they are a 3-win team. Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard, King Henry. Hell, you can bring in Ryan Tannehill back. They're still a 3-win team. Alpha Rob, that's tough. That's tough, but true. But speaking but truth, Matthew Stafford, guys. Matthew Stafford. On today's buy or sell, guys, this one is a big one for the LA Rams fans. Guys, buy or sell. The LA Rams are a 6-win team without Matthew Stafford as their quarterback. Now, as you guys know, Jeter just brought up Matthew Stafford's injury. Back issues, shoulder injuries, elbows, hamstring, whatever. The list goes on and on and on. He's been battered and bruised for the last 10, 15 years of his NFL career. But are the Rams really just a 6-win team without Matthew Stafford? Guys, I'm buying this. And honestly, I'm buying it in bulk. If Matthew Stafford is out, the Rams are not very good. And here is why. I have zero faith in the Rams quarterback room without Stafford. We're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, Stetson Bennett, a handful of guys who don't exactly strike fear into the opposing defenses. Let's just be honest. So the roster for the LA Rams, guys, is built to win right now. It's built around one guy. One guy only has Matthew Stafford. If you take him out of the equation and suddenly Devontae Adams, Puka are running around for quarterbacks who can't push the ball down the field the same way they can. Hell, Devontae Adams left Vegas because he didn't want Jimmy G throwing him the ball. I believe the quote was murder balls, right? Guys, the offense changes overnight and is not for the better if you don't have Matthew Stafford. Now Stafford's dealing with the aggravated disc in his back. This week was supposed to be step forward. Sean McVay expected him in individual drills, but after he threw 68 passes on Saturday, but Monday, he was still in street clothes, right? Hanging out there, and they called it Restore and Rejuvenation Day, right? Guys, the truth is Matthew Stafford is hurt. The truth is, without Matthew Stafford on the field, the Rams cannot push for a 12-13 win season. With him, Absolutely. Without him, this team is not built for a quarterback carousel. Garoppolo can't manage the game. Maybe he could manage the game. Maybe, but that's not leading them deep into the playoffs. Stetson Bennett is unproven. The rest of they're just strictly depth guys, right? Guys, the NFC West with the 49ers, Seahawks, and a feisty Cardinals team, you're not surviving without a top-tier quarterback. 6 wins might even be generous. If Stafford misses a big chunk of time, they could be a very, very bad team. So, yeah, guys, I am buying this. Without Stafford, the Rams go from legit contenders to scrapping 4 wins. They're simply too dependent on Matthew Stafford to keep the offense firing. But what do you guys think? Can the Rams tread water without Stafford, or does the season start stinking without him? Drop your comments down below, guys, and let us know.